Hey guys, today I'll be showing you how to integrate Wwise into your Unity project and use Unity Collab as your source control. So let's get started. I will start from the very beginning so that there can be absolutely no mix-ups about this setup. If you've already downloaded and integrated Wwise into your Unity project, then just skip over to the timestamp shown here. First, download your Unity project from the Unity Hub. Whether you're starting a new project or being added to a currently existing project, make sure you have this saved somewhere where you can easily locate it. I'm starting a project that someone has already made, so it should be in the cloud. If you haven't been added into their organization yet, ask them to add you into their organization. And in your cloud, you should be able to see the project that you're trying to download. So click on that. Make sure you have the right version of Unity selected. And now we're going to try to save this in the documents folder. I like to personally save it in a place where I know where all of my other projects are. So I'll go to my documents folder, then actually create a new folder here called repo, short for repository. Then I'll go in here and create another folder named Unity. And then I'll save it here. So then Unity will now take some time to download this project. Okay, so the project is almost done downloading. And now that the download is finished, let's go and open up one of the scenes. There we go. And there's my project. So it's fresh out of the oven, and we can make sure that our collab is open and checked green. So I am up to date. Let's actually close Unity. It's time to open up the Wwise launcher. Next, go to your Unity tab. You'll be able to see your recently downloaded project here. Click on the blue Integrate Wwise into Project button. And if you haven't closed your Unity, it will tell you that Unity is open right now. Otherwise, make sure you check all of your platforms that you're going to export this game into. So for our game, we're going to be exporting it into Android and iOS. As a default, Mac and Windows are already selected. Make sure that you have all of your platforms selected. Make sure that your packages, Unity integration extensions is selected. You don't need to really change the Wwise project path, as we're going to change it later anyways. And this, you don't really need to touch it. This, just go with the recommended and press integrate. And we'll just let Wwise Launcher take it from here. Cool. So now Wwise Launcher is done integrating your Unity project with Wwise. One of the cool things about the Wwise Launcher is that it lets you open the Unity project as well as the Wwise project directly from it. So we're going to open up the Unity project from here. And once it's loaded up, you want to click on the Collab button. And if it's not on, you should turn it on by now. And once your Unity project has uploaded, as you can see on the Collab button, now there's a blue arrow pointing upwards. This means that you have changes that you could upload into the master branch. And as you can see all these AK files, which stands for Audio Kinetic. These are all the Wwise files that you just downloaded into your Unity project. Cool. So you also see the Wwise picker that has been added onto your project next to the project console, and this is really useful for ambient things as well as checking to see what events you have and where your SoundBanks are. Cool. So your project will now be in the cloud for other collaborators to see. And if you press push right now, Wwise will be integrated into everybody else's projects. But if you start working and you start integrating sounds into Wwise, your collaborators will actually not be able to see or hear those sounds that you hear. The reason is because Unity Collab will only check for changes that are happening within the assets folder of your project. This means that, let me head over to this file here. Whatever is happening outside of this asset folder, down here, and whatever changes you make will happen within this Wwise project folder. It will not show up on Unity Collab. Therefore, we need to move the entire file into the asset folder so that Unity Collab can track any changes happening to it. So I see the Wwise project here, and it resides outside of the assets folder. Therefore, I just need to simply drag it in. Then go inside of the assets folder and find it again and drag it into your streaming assets folder. Okay, now this time drag that one last time into your audio folder. All right, and just to check, inside of your audio folder you see your Wwise project folder as well as this generated SoundBank folder. Go back to your Unity project and you can see that Wwise Picker can't find your project anymore. It's because your Wwise project header path has changed. So we're gonna deal with this right now. After you move your file, you will not be able to open your Wwise project using this button because your project has now moved and Wwise Launcher can no longer find that project. So if you click on Show More, as you can see, it says the file has not been found. If you're on a Mac, you won't be able to do this. You're going to have to actually find your Wwise project itself and try to open it by right-clicking it and choosing Wwise to open your project with. In Windows, you could just double-click on this project and you will be able to open it. Okay, so now that we have our Wwise project opened up, first thing we should do is go to the Project tab over here and clicking on Project Settings or pressing Shift-K, going to the SoundBanks tab, and then changing the header file for path here. Make sure that it's set to your Unity's project folder. And assets, streaming assets, audio, and it's in here. Select this folder and press OK. And it will no longer show up here. That's fine. And we could close the project settings for now. While we have Wwise open, let's just create a sample event for testing this out. First, let's go to our audio tab. Click on Actor Mixer Hierarchy's default work unit. And if we just press Shift I here, it opens up the audio file importer. You could either click on Add Files button here or drag an audio file from anywhere like a folder or your desktop into this area. I'm just going to click on Add Files, as I prepared a WAV file for me to use for this, and it's on my desktop. It's called Laser. I'm just going to open it and import. And if I press on this plus button here, it shows that I have a new laser sound. If I press spacebar, it plays it. Now let's go over to our Events tab, and under Events, Default Work Unit, press this button called Create New Event. And we're going to call this Test Fire, lowercase t and uppercase fire. So all events names are case sensitive. This will be important later on when we integrate the event using C#. So next, go back to your audio tab while you have the test fire selected on your event editor here. Click on the laser and just drag it into your event editor. And you can see that it has been added into your event. This means that when this event is triggered, this sound will be played. So the last thing we should do is generating a SoundBank and putting this event into the SoundBank. So press F7 to go to your SoundBank manager. Okay. Click on the new button here. You can name this anything you want. I'm just going to name it main. Press OK. Click on the plus button here. Make sure to select the SoundBank that's inside here, inside of your default work unit. Select the checkboxes next to all of the platforms that you wish to export your SoundBanks into. If you integrate it correctly, you'll see all of your desired platforms on your screen here. And finally, select the language that you want to export this into. By default, there's only English, so just select it. Okay. Now what we want to do is go back to our Events tab here and drag this test fire, selecting the main bank and just dragging it into here. Okay, now that we've done that, press Generate Selected. Wwise will generate the SoundBank that you need. Just close that, and we're done with Wwise. So click on the X button for now. Oh, and make sure to save your project. Yes, saving your project is very important. Click Save, and you can quit Wwise for now. All right, let's go back over to our Unity project. So let's go over to our Wwise setting. Click on Edit, Wwise Settings. We're going to have to find our project again. So let's go look for our Wwise project. As you can see, the Wwise project is down here. Press open. Okay. One last thing to do is selecting where our SoundBank is. So just press this button here. And one last thing to do is clicking on the asset management and selecting audio and generated sound banks. And press OK. Unity will be able to find your Wwise project again. As you can see, our events and our main SoundBank has loaded up. So let's load up our SoundBank in the scene. Create a new game object. Position it to 0, 0, 0. And I'm just going to add a component called AKBank. And it says that no SoundBank is currently selected. Click on the red text here and just select your SoundBank and press OK. Next, I'm going to create a simple game object that will trigger the sound when the scene is loaded. So I'm just going to name this sound emitter. It doesn't matter what you name this. I'm going to add a component, add a new script, and name it sound start. Press create and add. Click on this little cogwheel here. It will take some time to actually create that script. So click on this cogwheel here and press edit script. Depending on your program of your choice, MonoDevelop will open up. I'm currently using Visual Studio, so Visual Studio just opened up. I'm just going to bring this over right here. If you're unfamiliar with C#, there's very little things you really have to know about it in order to actually integrate your codes into your Unity engine. In this case, we're just going to have our code running right at the start of the game. Under void start, we're going to write this specific code. AK sound engine period post event parentheses and then quotation marks test fire. That's the exact name of our event. You have to type in the specific case sensitive name of your event. Then outside of that quotation mark, we're going to do a comma and type game object. And we're going to finish that off like that. So make sure that your capitalization is all correct and that there are no red lines running underneath your script. And what this basically does is at the start of the game, this line of code will call for the audio kinetic sound engine to post an event named testFire upon this specific game object's location. So since this game object is located at the scene at 0, 0, 0, X, Y, and Z location, the sound will play from there. And finally, let's save the script. So press save. And just close this script and return to our scene and just press play. As you can see, you should be able to hear the sound when you load up the scene. Alright, let's go outside of the play mode. Now that we're ready to go, let's upload our new changes to our cloud. I always like to add comments here. A good common courtesy to add in a description of what we did here. So I'm just going to add Wwise integrated test sound added. And as you can see, there's a lot of changes going in, so I'm just going to press publish now. And yes, it will ask us to save our scene. Always press save. So yeah, once you've done that, your programmers and your other collaborators will be able to receive your project, and when they press the play button, they should be able to hear the sound. I have tried this with my programmer, and he confirmed that he was able to hear the sound. And before, we tried a bunch of things, and it was showing us errors in the console, and we couldn't figure out how to get it to really work. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If there are some things that I said in this video that were misleading or confusing, just let me know in the comments and I would love to clarify things for you. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.